8 years ago, an elite Russian parachute regiment played a central role in the massacre of Ukrainian soldiers. Now Ukraine has exacted its revenge. The 331st Guards Airborne Regiment has been significantly damaged in fighting around Kyiv. Around 50 of the 331st paratroopers have died in Ukraine, according to open-source intelligence analysts who have scoured the internet for confirmation of the deaths. The wounded could number 100 or more. And then there are the missing, many of whom undoubtedly will be confirmed died as the 331st reconstitutes in Belarus. That's potentially hundreds of casualties in a regiment that, at its peak strength, had just 2,000 men. Members of the 331st headquarters staff, including regimental commander Colonel Sergei Sukharev, also have died. Losing a tenth or more of its manpower in just a few weeks could render the 331st incapable of further operations until it rests and takes in reinforcements. Analyst Rob Lee, from the Foreign Policy Research Institute in Philadelphia, has been tallying the 331st's losses. The BBC weighed in with its own report on the regiment's dismantling by Ukrainian forces. Their reporting tells a startling tale, one that's taken on a new quality in recent days. As Ukrainian troops chase behind Russian units retreating from the Kyiv suburbs, they've discovered hundreds of dead bodies. Civilians. Some lying along roadsides, others in alleys or doorways, many of them with their hands bound. It's increasingly clear that Russian units around Kyiv executed Ukrainian civilians, men and boys, in particular, before fleeing toward the safety of Belarus or Russia, often with looted home appliances and other spoils in tow. Ukrainian troops liberating the town of Bucha, northwest of Kyiv, found at least 20 bodies in the streets. It's worth noting that the 331st was one of the units that fought in Bucha. The 331st has a history of atrocities. It was one of the units the Kremlin deployed to eastern Ukraine in 2014 to bolster Russian-backed separatist forces. The Russians and separatists surrounded Ukrainian troops in Ilovaisk. Commanders on both sides agreed to a ceasefire to allow the trapped Ukrainians to leave Ilovaisk via the so-called humanitarian corridor. It was a trap. The Russians opened fire on the departing Ukrainians, killing around 400 of them in what was, until recently, the bloodiest day ever for the post-Soviet Ukrainian army. The Ukrainian army captured 10 members of the 331st in Ilovaisk, helping officials in Kyiv to confirm the regiment's role in the massacre. The 331st got the better of the Ukrainians 8 years ago in Ilovaisk. In fighting around Kyiv this March, the regiment's fortunes reversed. The 33SD thin-skinned BMD and BTR-D airborne fighting vehicles, designed to be lightweight in order to facilitate transport via Il-76 airlift, offered little protection against the Ukrainians' missiles and artillery.